Hey, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Saturday night, about 10:31 p.m. California time, September 21st, 2024 is the date. 1.4 earthquake here across the area of California, the latest quake here on the globe. Getting, got a little bit of swarming going on here across the area of the Middle America Trench. Quite a few threes here and some fours stacked upon each other with a decent earthquake swarm occurring there throughout the day. Also some adjustment further south with a 5-pointer stirring up here, 5.1 earthquake off the coast of the El Salvador region. So the earthquake swarm itself is occurring right about here, a little bit further down, some larger scale movement there on the globe. Continue to keep an eye on that because that is a good segment of the Middle America Trench here that's seen quite a bit of earthquake activity, and no doubt this region can see some large quakes. Some earthquake activity here across the subduction zone around the Dominica area, 4.4. Cluster of activity up around the Puerto Rico Trench as well. But this is somewhat newer and been a little while since we've seen any activity out here. Looks like it's starting to fill in slightly. Of course, that would make sense here with all the movement on the Middle American Trench here. That does add strain out on the little bitty Caribbean plate, getting squeezed and pushed around for this plate boundary. So a little bit of uptick following all the movement over here. Makes a little sense for sure. A lot of sense, actually. 6.0 earthquake off the coast, it's into the Peru Chile Trench here, well underneath Argentina, 81 miles deep here. 4.1 earthquake following that event. There's that 6-pointer, 4.1. Looks like there's a small amount of aftershock activity in there as well that USGS is not reporting there. Some 3s and 2s stirring up underneath that area. California, let's go see what's going on out here in Southern California area. Malibu seen a 3.0 earlier this afternoon, shaking things up out there right on the Malibu coast fault. I'll be out here next week, not only here but also down in the Rancho Palos Verdes area down here where they're seeing some landslide activity. I'm going to talk to a few folks. There's a couple different segments out here that have been seen or that have seen some landslides and the earth slowly kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but giving way here to some of these nice, beautiful homes that sit up in this area. And I'll be down there this week. Probably stop down here first and then head up to the Malibu area and check out, talk to a few folks there, and just look at some of the geology around the area with the Malibu coast fault. But it should be an interesting trip for sure. I appreciate the folks there that have been donating and helping out with some gas and coffee and stuff like that. Appreciate it. Missy Mimi's appreciates it as well. If you want to help out still, super chat here on this channel or the PayPal address would be the best way to get any funds to me quickly, and that's earthmastermail@gmail.com for the PayPal address. So there's the 3-pointer. Nothing else yet here. Earlier in the morning time, we had a couple earthquakes here on the thrust fault here, the Puente Hills thrust fault. I'm not going to be out here checking this out because this is a deeper thrust fault, and I want to stay away from downtown Los Angeles area. Imagine if something big happens down there and I'm stuck down there in Southern California. Goodness, that would not be good. There's a little bit of swarming there on the San Andreas fault from earlier this morning, right on the southern segment, and another separate swarm down here off the Elsinore fault, southern end, where we're seeing a little bit of ones out here, nothing big. In fact, if you look at the 2.5 map and above, the only earthquake here is going to be that 3-pointer in Malibu earlier this afternoon. But we'll continue to keep an eye there on the San Andreas fault. Nevada, fairly quiet. Getting a swarm up here across the Clear Lake volcanic field. This is a lot of those hydrothermal plants up here taking advantage of the heated areas below and creating their own energy. It's a very interesting way that they create it. But at the same time, it involves some earthquake activity out there in this area of the Clear Lake volcanic fields. Some minimal movement up here across the Cascadia. 1.6 earthquake. That's going to be this earthquake right here. 3.9 miles deep there in the blue circle. Aside from that, trying to see here. Got anything else that's of any noteworthy value? A couple smaller earthquakes out here today, bouncing back and forth between Northern California here and just offshore at the Cascadia. Let's check the tremor map here tonight. I'm kind of curious to see where we're at for tremor. 19 epicenters of tremor. Not a big deal. Roughly around the Oregon area, underneath this area, down into the subduction zone there, about 35, 45 kilometers or so for the tremor activity. Rest of the country out there, really nothing major going on here on this Saturday. Fairly uneventful. The Hawaii area still seeing some earthquake activity, but I'm pretty certain there that the eruption has come to a halt. Let's see here. Even we're still at an orange and watch level, though. The eruption here of Kilauea Volcano remains paused since yesterday morning. Minor glow continues at night from the vent and small spots on the flows, but diminished overnight. No immediate threat to life or infrastructure out here, and it looks like they're just keeping this right now at a watch and orange level. I don't believe we've depleted everything that has been building up out here for quite a while. This is just a very small amount of magma that has broken through to the surface. Yeah, really not. Well, let's see. Let's take a look at some of these deformation charts, see what we have. Hard to say. I mean, it's going back up here at the summit area, but really not any type of sharp rise. There's the latest magma intrusion from the summit off to the Middle East Rift Zone, where we're seeing our most recent eruptive episode there in the Middle East Rift Zone down here in this area. Very small amount there of lava fields, as you can see in past historical lava flows here, that it's much more, the volume out here is a lot more than what we've seen here with the most recent little fissure events. So I don't think we're over it yet. Earthquake activity has diminished. There's definitely what looks like some type of magma or tremor, harmonic tremor there, it looks like, on this seismograph station, along with some earthquake activity. So things may be rolling around down there underneath this area. Again, I don't think we're done yet. They're keeping this volcano at a watch level in orange, so we'll have to see what happens here over the coming days and weeks for Kilauea Volcano. Earthquake activity up into the Aleutian Trench this morning, 5.4. As far as any new broad-scale earthquake activity, it's a lot of earthquake activity out here, scattered all over the place right now. Really no well-defined area, just a lot of movement through the Pacific Plate and adjacent plates. Some deeper activity here into the Tonga Trench, New Zealand at 3.0. Deeper activity here across the area of the Philippines. Quite active. I mean, definitely quite active. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit here because I think we're past that 24-hour threshold. This looks a little bit more realistic for the last 24 hours. We'll definitely keep an eye on California, right? Everywhere else here is quite active. Northwest, a whole bunch going on down south here across the Middle America Trench and Peru-Chile Trench. And just minor adjustment right now across California. So things could start to fill in here. Space weather activity. I'll check this out here real quick. Fairly neutral. Pretty much about as flat line as you can go here on the solar flare chart. Coming back from a data blackout, looks like every 24 hours that kicks up. And only seen a little bit of sea flare activity here over the last couple days. Really nothing of any major interest here. We do have numerous sunspots, but man, they are fading like the wind, dust in the wind out here. This sunspot was a massive area here quite a few days back when it was out here on the southeastern limb, and that was responsible for a couple X flares and the most recent G4 class solar storm that we've seen here quite a few nights back. But that pretty much dissipated there. Not a whole lot of interesting development at all, aside from the rapid deterioration there. A couple other sunspots, center disk, really of not any considerable value, pretty quiet. So we'll have to wait and see what is in store for us as we get a number of sunspots here. This almost looks like a face. There's two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. I mean, am I seeing this right? Goodness, that's a little creepy looking right there. Even some horns up here. Goodness, you guys see that? Two eyes, a well-defined nose, and just a flat mouth for emotion. No smirk, no smile, no frowning, just flat. There's even a head right there. It almost looks like a kitty cat. Some two little ears there. Okay. I'm okay. I am okay. But anyway, we got to watch this. They are fairly large in terms of coverage out here, but we really won't know, if they're super complex or not until we get a little bit better visual here on the eastern limb. And I really don't see anything yet. It will be in the coming days. There's some magnetic arches out there from those sunspots way out there on the eastern limb. Like I said, we still got a couple days before we get a better glimpse at them, and then we'll go from there. Flare threat pretty low, 5% chance. M flare at 30, C flare 99% chance or so. Nothing major going on there. Aurora's non-existent, unfortunately. All right, let's check out hurricane activity here real quick. Let me go over here to this site. They may be picking up on it. Tropical Storm 17. Where's this at? I'm going to go over here to the weather model here and see what we have. It's going to be an area down here of development south of the Gulf of Mexico in the Caribbean area that is going to be stirring up some type of tropical system here next week. And we've been following it. The question is if it's going to have enough power, enough time to juice up here and become a major hurricane. Now, this is showing a little bit stronger than what we've seen last night, and more of an eastward turn here towards the Florida area. Yeah, that's definitely got some time to strengthen up there and tighten up and become a large hurricane by Thursday night, Friday. It is a ways out, though, right? We got today's Saturday. It's about 6 days, 5 days. It's going to be something to watch pretty closely. But the majority of these weather models now are forecasting something here coming in. Let's check out the ECMWF model, which does not go that far. Only goes out to about Wednesday here. The CMC model shows that hurricane as well, but a little bit weaker, and also a more westward track there for that hurricane. That one shows it stalling there in the Gulf of Mexico, probably rapidly intensifying. That's a major hurricane status right there, pressure down to 942. Very large hurricane for a Sunday arrival. So not a whole lot of agreement on terms of strength and location, but they're all in agreement that something's going to form out here. That's for sure. That's something we got to watch pretty closely. So best thing we can do is be prepared, and just in case, maybe stock up on some items out here. It all goes on what's going on across the pressure lines here. This latest GFS model looks like it will get caught up and move off to the northeast and pulled away pretty quickly. Unfortunately, bringing a lot of rain out here across the southeast as well. The eastern portion of the country, I don't think they need any more rain, do they? They've got quite a bit of rain there from their last tropical system. So we'll just kind of see how it plays out with that tropical system. I'll put this into motion here. High pressure in the orange. Man, there's supposed to be 101, 102 on Monday. It's just, I don't know. I'm not liking this at all. A little bit of relief there for the Pacific Northwest as we head towards next weekend, but man, I'm really not seeing anything of any significant pattern change out here for the West Coast. This was back on the 18th here when we had some temperatures back down in the 70s. It's beautiful. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on things here. Keep an eye here on California. Again, I'm going to be driving down here to the first stop's going to be down here across the area, the Rancho Palos Verdes area, where they've been seeing some historic landslides. 2023 had a decent one where quite a few homes here were damaged. They dropped about 45 feet or so on some of these mountain ranges. And a lot of it has to do with the extreme winters that we've seen here recently. And I'm sure a lot to do with the plate dynamics out here as well. So anyway, we'll cover that as we get closer here. I haven't picked out a specific date, but it will be roughly about midweek here coming up. And then we'll run over here to the Malibu area and see what we got I'm sure it's a beautiful area. I've never actually been down specifically across this area. Los Angeles, Hollywood, I have a time or two, and I'm going to try to stay away from this area. I guess I'll probably take 10 down, or not 10, but the 405 southward towards this area. Beautiful homes down there. Actually, absolutely beautiful area, but there's, that concern of whether one's home is going to slide off here into the Pacific or not. A little scary. All right, I'm going to call it a night. It's past my bedtime, almost 11 o'clock here California time, so that is it. Have a good one, folks. We'll see you guys back out here in the morning time, Sunday morning update. Enjoy your Saturday night, and please stay safe out there. Take care.